Welcome to Films at Home, home of the Blu-rays. Can I take your order? Hey everyone, Jeff here from Films at Home, and obviously I think you've gotten the hint by now, but we are gonna cover the new Blu-ray release of Good Burger from Paramount and Nickelodeon. I'm gonna review this and let you guys know about the video and the audio, talk about this movie a little bit, give you some details on this release and why it's so important to me, and then we'll give a full review and talk about whether this is worth picking up for your Blu-ray collection. So I could keep singing more from this movie and quoting this movie for literally days because I grew up on this. This movie came out in 1997. I was 5 years old. I was right in that sweet spot of like being an impressionable young person. I remember watching this movie on VHS over and over and over again. It had orange VHS tape. And then when I got older, Kenan and Kel was awesome. And then you hadn't seen this movie for a bit. And I recently watched it a couple years ago on Netflix. And I was like, this movie still stands up. And I was going to buy it on DVD because I really wanted to own it in my collection. And then luckily Paramount announced that this was actually coming to Blu-ray for the first time, which was awesome. So this just came out on at the end of February 2021. So I just grabbed it from Nickelodeon and Paramount. And this is the Blu-ray premiere of Good Burger. It's never been on Blu-ray in any country or anywhere before. It was only on DVD and it had been available on streaming for a little bit. So the great thing about this movie, before I get into the visuals, is just that it doesn't have that like nostalgia glasses type of deal with it. I was really worried, like, okay, when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, this was literally the funniest movie I'd ever seen up to that point. I loved Kenan and Kel. I loved all that. It was awesome. And I watched it again when I was like 24, a few years ago, 25. And I was like, man, I hope that this is like still funny. And let me tell you, it's still funny. Kel Mitchell in this movie is hilarious. Kenan is great. The whole cast is awesome. It has a ton of celebrity cameos, which are always cool. It is a really, really fun movie. And I still stand by this being like one of my favorite kids movies ever made. Like, I cannot wait to watch this someday with my kids and a new generation because it is absolutely hilarious and a lot of the jokes still stand up. And Kenan and Kel are just timeless legends to me, especially being a 90s kid. Kenan and Kel were where it's at, in my opinion, probably their finest work. So on the visuals here, this is a 35mm movie. It was filmed on 35mm, has a 35mm print, but it is pretty clear that Paramount didn't really go back and clean it up. You can definitely see some scratches and artifacts in the film. You see a little, and we're talking very, very quickly, but you'll see a little black splotch pop up, issues with the original film. And it does give it a very nostalgic look and feel, I would say. It's very, grainy a lot of times. And it has those few odd instances which just pointed out to me, like, okay, they probably didn't do a brand new transfer of this. They're probably working with what they had before and they're upscaling it to Blu-ray, which in this case I think is okay, because can we really expect Paramount to do like a new 4K master of Good Burger? Probably not, but just getting an HD master of it and having a better quality, even though they didn't go back and completely, preserve and remaster the entire film, it still looks a lot better than the DVD. I'm so used to doing 4K reviews. It looks better than the DVD for sure. It looks better than it does on streaming. It's brighter. It has better quality. Everything looks fair enough to be a decent Blu-ray. I'm so used to watching 4K copies that obviously it doesn't stand up to things like that, and it doesn't stand up to some of the newer Blu-rays that have been completely remastered, but it's still very well done. It's the best it's ever looked, and that's all we can really ask for. So you will see in some of the screenshots that I've been showing here that there is actually a lot of good detail in this. The colors are really nice. There's all these things that, are sometimes lacking with DVD and even with streaming, but I'm pretty happy considering this was, $12. It only had a DVD release. We get a nice HD upscale, is what it feels like, a kind of HD upscale of the previous transfer to DVD. And it's a nice improvement. And for $12, I'm happy to have it on a solid format like Blu-ray that will, obviously last a long time and be a little bit more relevant than, maybe a DVD is in a few years. So I'm very happy with it. I have no complaints about the visuals. It's not going to stun you. It's not going to be reference quality, but it sure is good enough for this movie. Now, the audio on this release is actually a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. that is a nice little upgrade. You don't get that on streaming, you don't get that on your DVD. And Good Burger actually has some moments. It has some really good music in it. It has a few, you know, kind of action scenes, and it's a pretty good soundtrack. Dialogue especially was like loud and clear, like really, really loud. And the center channel was definitely kind of your focus still, but you get a little bit of use out of the surrounds, and the music sounds really great. So I'm pretty happy just to get, you know, an HD video, but also get that upgraded HD lossless audio. Really, really nice. I'm glad that Paramount did that and upgraded that as well, because it does add to this release, and it certainly makes for a much better experience than, you know, a DVD or streaming, and that's what we're hoping for when we purchase a new Blu-ray like this. So props to them on the audio. So audio and visual, I'd say it's like a 3.5, right? Like a 3.5, maybe a 4 for a Blu-ray. It's not the best thing you're ever gonna watch, but remember, it's Good Burger. It's a Nickelodeon movie. You're enjoying it for the nostalgia and for the comedy, not so much for the picture quality, but it is really nice to have such a good Blu-ray release of this that didn't come out like total crap. Packaging wise, we're talking pretty basic here. This is pretty much the artwork you see everywhere for Good Burger. You got a little more on the back about the movie. Opening it up, it's a pretty basic eco case. You just got the one disc, no disc art, and then there is one special feature on here, which I kind of was hoping maybe they could have done a little more for special features. Like, that would have been kind of cool. Imagine like a Kenan and Kel commentary track for Good Burger, or just some behind the scenes. That would have been nice, but who knows, you know, if any of that even exists or how accessible those two are right now. But what it does have is it has the original Good Burger sketch from All That in 1994, which is really cool because that's where it all originated. It's a very old standard definition, you know, recording, and it's, you know, pretty grainy looking obviously, but it's a nice little slice of nostalgia that they added to this release. It's certainly better than nothing. I would hope for a little bit more, but honestly, like I said, we're paying $12 for this release, and I could probably see it dropping to like $10 pretty quickly. So for that price point, it's a pretty good deal, especially for the first time, you know, this has been on Blu-ray. I'm happy with it. I can't go wrong for $10 or $12, right? Especially as a collector. And I just absolutely love the movie, so I knew I had to have it. So overall, man, Good Burger really still stands the test of time. I think it's still very funny. Kenan is obviously still very relevant, has a new TV show on NBC, is still on SNL. Kel'S is now back on Nickelodeon. He was running a new version of All That, and he's been doing some voice work and appearing in some other things. Kenan's definitely the bigger star of the two, but if you go back to the 90s, there was no bigger star to kids than Kenan and Kel. Kenan and Kel just ruled the world in the 90s through All That, through the Kenan and Kel show, all the stuff they did on Nickelodeon. They were just it. And Good Burger really cemented them as like the Nickelodeon stars of the 90s. And I love this movie. I still think it's super funny. It's still relevant. It's actually interesting like how relevant it is, because if you look at the core of this movie, it's actually about like two kids trying to keep a struggling small business open while this massive corporation across the street tries to take them over by doing sketchy business practices and putting chemicals in food. And I'm like watching this and I'm like, you wouldn't have thought that plot line comes from 1997, right? That sounds like a kid's movie they could have made today. So I'll leave a link to purchase this on Amazon. It is only $12.99 right now, which is a pretty good price point, especially, you know, since it just came out. But also check your local video stores. I actually purchased through Bull Moose to support them. I picked up this and a couple other titles I'll be reviewing, like Small Soldiers from Paramount and Star Wars The Phantom Menace in 4K. So support your local video stores where you can. But I loved revisiting this movie. I love that it's still relevant, that my nostalgia glasses didn't make this feel like it was much better than it was in my memory. It's no Citizen Kane, obviously. It's goofy, it's funny, it's hilarious, it's absurd, but that's what I love about it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for coming back to this review. Check out all the other links, social media links to Instagram and TikTok, other ways you can support my channel through donations, becoming a channel member, all that good stuff down in the description. And of course, make sure to support your local video stores. Like I said, I bought from Bull Moose, so check them out. But if you can't, you know, always can purchase through Amazon, and that helps support my channel as well, so I appreciate that. But other than that, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and stay healthy out there, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching.